What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of XAYBEAST Live. It has been so long. It has been a while. It has... Wait, can you even hear me right now? Can you guys hear me? Let me know if you can hear me, because I don't know if my audio is working. I'm not seeing the sound bounce up and down down there. But yeah, welcome back to another episode of XAYBEAST Live. I haven't done one of these in a while. I think it's been like a month or two, something like that. This is episode 6 now. If you're not familiar with how I do the XAYBEAST Live episodes, basically what it is each episode has a specific topic that I talk about. This is episode 6. Episode 5 was all about action movies. And then I decided, you know what? I'm gonna rely more on you guys. Because a lot of the most successful live shows on YouTube are normally the ones where the discussion is controlled by the people watching. You know, the people leaving comments as, you know, the person is, as the streamer is talking, and you guys get to decide what we talk about. I do have some things that I'm going to do just in case that not enough people come in and are able to keep a discussion going. That includes my entire Blu-ray collection, which I took off the shelf, and it's sitting here right beside me. But first, I want to let enough people join. And definitely hit that like button on the stream because it does help with that stupid YouTube algorithm. But yeah, you can leave comments if you're watching on a TV. You can't obviously leave comments on a live stream on a TV, but you can leave comments if you're watching on a laptop or a phone. So definitely do that. Let me know that you're here. I'd love to see. But with that said, I'm just going to quickly send out the notification and make sure that everyone knows that I am currently live on my channel. So let me do that, and in order to make this not boring, I am going to continue talking as I'm doing this. So I am hitting up Instagram right now. I am deleting this, and then I'm gonna edit it and put in the text saying that I am now live. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Live now on the XAYBEAST Studios, not Stufios, I put Stufios, on the XAYBEAST Studios YouTube channel. We're doing it. And black. There we go. And putting that to my story, and hopefully people will see that and then tune in. So yeah, there we go. I am live now on the XAYBEAST Studios YouTube channel. Okay, so with that said, haven't gotten any comments yet. Like I said, these stream, originally this live show wasn't going to have a specific topic for each episode. I was just gonna let the viewers and the fans just comment and ask me questions and things like that. But I had to come to terms with the fact that I don't really have that many viewers. I'm currently at 77 subscribers, which to someone who doesn't really know how YouTube works, that may seem like, oh wow, that's a pretty fair amount of subscribers. No, you don't start making money on YouTube until you have at least 1,000 subscribers and at least 1,000 public views. Now I have the views. In total on my channel, I've almost hit 4,000 views, but I only have 77 subscribers, so I can't be monetized, and I don't have enough viewers who can tune into the live show and, you know, watch things. So with that said, I have to kind of take some responsibility and start a discussion myself. So that's why I have the Blu-ray collection here, so I'm going to hold up several different movies, and we can talk about them and whatnot. But since I did put that thing on Instagram, hopefully, enough people are going to see it and realize that I'm live right now. In fact, how about I post it on my Instagram? Let's do a video right now. We're doing it. I'm recording it right now. What is up, guys? I'm currently live on the XAYBEAST Studios YouTube channel. There I am right there. But yeah, this is just a quick post. I am currently live right now. I'm going to be live for an hour, maybe an hour and a half, maybe an hour and a half, maybe even 2 hours. Depends on where the discussion goes, but please tune into the live show. It is a fun time. You guys get to control what we're talking about. That's all I got right now. Tune into the XAYBEAST Studios YouTube channel to see today's live show. there we go. I have recorded that Instagram video, and now I'm posting it to my account so people will see that I am live. Because I want people to watch this, and I like Q&As. I like it. I like talking with people. And, you know, I'm just really bored, and this is just something I can do. It's kind of like an escape, you know? If you watch YouTube for the same reasons I do, you use it as an escape. All right, there we go. It is up there right now, so hopefully people will see that and then tune into my channel. With that said, I guess we can just go ahead and get this film discussion going here with me talking about a bunch of movies I have right here. My entire Blu-ray collection is in alphabetical order, so I guess that stands for something. So yeah, you know, obviously first one starts with an A. Last movie in this collection starts with a Z. You probably know exactly what film that is if you know anything about me and my channel. But yeah, first up we have the limited edition Alfred Hitchcock Essentials Collection, which I also own on DVD. Yeah, the DVD collection was given to me, and then eventually when I had enough money, I decided I also want to have all the films on Blu-ray because I want to watch them in the highest resolution possible. This collection includes Rear Window, Vertigo, North by Northwest, Psycho, and The Birds, which in my opinion are Hitchcock's 5 best films. Haven't seen Rope yet. But yeah, there's that right there. And I'm going to try my best to keep these in alphabetical order, but no promises. I don't know why I do that. It makes me feel more organized because everything else in this room is nowhere near organized, like in any way, shape, or form. All right, next up, we have the first Amazing Spider-Man film. Comment, say things about me, hate on me, I don't care. I like this movie. I actually really like this movie. I think it's a very visually well-made film and very competently helmed. Like, it's a pretty well-made movie. And I think Andrew Garfield gave a great performance. That scene where he's arguing with Uncle Ben, and Uncle Ben is like, so he was telling Peter about something his father said. It's basically the rehash of the "with great power comes great responsibility" scene from Raimi's original first film. They did stretch that line into like 20,000 words, and it doesn't work as well. But Andrew Garfield's performance in that scene when he says the line, "How dare I? How dare you?" Like, his performance is so good. I don't know why people hate on this movie so much. The next film in this collection, I do understand why people hate on it so much. So why don't we just move on right ahead to that and just get it out of the way. The Amazing Spider-Man 2. This movie sucks. I'm aware of that, but I really enjoy it. This is much more on a guilty pleasure level, but aside from that, there are good things in this movie. The chemistry between Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone as Peter and Gwen, I feel that relationship. I don't really like the whole off and on dynamic that is with their relationship throughout the movie, but there's actually some pretty funny moments in this movie. I think all the performances are still great, except for Dane DeHaan as the Green Goblin. No, but I do enjoy many aspects of this film, but I do know that it's a bad movie for sure. However, and if you haven't seen this film, I'm not going to spoil it for you. There is a death in this film towards the end that is done very, very well. It is done admittedly very well. Like, I'm not even kidding. The movie as a whole isn't really good, but that death towards the end, it does hit me. Like, whenever I rewatch this movie, which isn't very often, to be completely honest, that death still, it makes me feel something, which is great because I was starting to think I was emotionally dead inside. All right, next up we have The Breakfast Club. This is easily my favorite John Hughes film, and it still holds up. This film came out in, like, what, 1985, 1986? It still holds up. I mean, obviously, you know, high schoolers back then talk a little different than they do now, but not much different. And this is included in the Universal 100th anniversary, so you can actually open this cover here, and there's a ton of, like, cool information about the film, as well as the actual film inside. Yeah. And if you haven't noticed, I do love slipcovers. Whenever I purchase a Blu-ray, I always try to make sure that it has the slipcovers. Some of these don't, just because a lot of these Blu-rays or movies are just kind of like innocuous and like they didn't really like. The Breakfast Club is like a big movie, so obviously they're gonna make this cool slipcover for it. But, other movies that are smaller, they put it in the Blu-ray casing and ship it out. That's basically what that is. Next up, we have my favorite Tom Cruise film of all time, as well as my favorite Jamie Foxx film of all time, Collateral. I know. Weird, right? Rewatch this movie. Because if you watch this movie back in the early 2000s when it came out, and today you haven't rewatched it since, and today when you think about it, you're like, oh, that was that okay action movie with Tom Cruise and Jamie Foxx. Rewatch it. There's such a great, emotional, impactful storyline in this film. I mean, you remember it as an action movie, but it is much more a drama thriller about these two men with combating ideologies, and I love this film. I love it to pieces. It's so good. So good. And that is the only Tom Cruise film where, when I'm watching it, I don't really see Tom Cruise. He's great in the Mission Impossible films. He's great in Jerry Maguire. But when I watch those, I'm like, yeah, that's Tom Cruise. It's Tom Cruise. He's awesome. But when I watched Collateral, it is Tom Cruise. He is awesome. But I don't see him as Tom Cruise. I see him as his character, Vincent. I completely see him as that character in that movie. He mastered that role. Next up, we have one of the most underrated films of recent years, Crawl. Not a great movie, okay? Don't take my word for it. But it is don't quote me or anything. It's not a masterpiece. That's not what I'm saying. It's not a great movie, but it's a great time. Like, this movie is so much fun. And the CG is actually very, very impressive. Kind of revolutionary, to be honest, what they were able to do with these alligators. But I've always had a soft spot for movies that take place in one location with very, very few characters who have to try to escape, and there's a threat that's preventing them from their escape. There's another film that's actually a lot like this that we're going to be talking about very soon. But I love this movie. Like, it's weird because I know this movie isn't great. Like, I think it's a good movie. Like, a solid good in my book. But I still love it. Like, you can love a movie without thinking it's great. That's my stance on Crawl. All right. Next, we have Christopher Nolan's Batman Trilogy. I actually still haven't seen The Dark Knight Rises. Yeah, I kind of need to get on that. But Batman Begins and The Dark Knight I love. They are two of the best, if not the best, comic book films ever made. I love these movies. Christopher Nolan has such just a visual punch to all of his films. They all feel so grand and wide and spectacle while still somehow feeling very grounded. I don't know how he does it, but it fascinates me. All right, next up we have Deepwater Horizon. I actually used to live in Alabama. I don't anymore, but I actually used to live in Alabama, and this is based on a true story, and this disastrous event took place right off the coast of Mobile. So yeah, there's a little fun connection with me in this film for you. Mark Wahlberg gives a great performance in this movie. He's, obviously he's very bad in the Transformers films, and we're not even going to talk about The Happening. You guys heard of the bees? Albert Einstein said if bees went extinct, humans would go extinct. What do you guys think about that? Come on, guys. Take an interest in science. The Happening is so bad, but his performance in this movie is great. I love this movie. And who was this directed by? I forgot who this was directed by. Let's see here. Peter Berg. Peter Berg directed this movie. Very good direction. Very good use of practical effects. I highly recommend this film. All right. Next up, we have The Greatest Showman. Definitely a guilty pleasure for me. I know that this is not a good movie, but there are good things in it. The music is great. The music has won like a bunch of awards. The music in this film is amazing. It's actually by the same people who did the music for La La Land, which is also a Blu-ray we're going to be talking about here in this stream. But yeah, great music, great lyrics, like very well composed music. Everything else, there's some special effects that they use. The performances are good. Michelle Williams and Hugh Jackman are very good. Zac Efron, say what you want about the High School Musical films, but he is a good actor. He does have talent. And also Zendaya's in this movie. So that may or may not may or may not be the biggest reason I rewatched that film. Anyway, moving on to the next film, Hacksaw Ridge. This is one of my favorite war films of all time. It is so just gut-punchingly powerful. It's just so well made. Directed by Mel Gibson, who I know as a person has said some things, but we're not talking. It's like, yes, he said some things that a lot of people don't appreciate, and I myself, I don't appreciate them either. But what you can't deny is that he's a talented director. Someone may have done something bad, but they still might very well be talented at something. And for Mel Gibson, he's had some bad things, but he's very good at directing movies. So you know what? I love Hacksaw Ridge. And another film that Andrew Garfield gives a great performance in. He was snubbed at the Oscars for that movie, in my opinion. Hannah, a film that like no one knows about. This was Saoirse Ronan's first film. If you don't know who Saoirse Ronan is, she was in Lady Bird, Little Women. Like she is getting much bigger now. I need to review Little Women. I did see that back when it came out, and I didn't get to reviewing it because there were other videos that I had to do. But this is actually, it's almost like if it's like an art house James Bond film, but James Bond is a teenage girl who was raised in the woods. I hope that's a good description. Either way, very, very underrated film. Very fun film. I honestly, I love that movie. I love it. All right, next up, we have my nerd geek side really showing itself here. The complete 8-film Harry Potter collection on Blu-ray. I love all these movies. They're all A+ in my opinion. Yes, including Order of the Phoenix and Half-Blood Prince. Fight me. I don't care. All of these movies, I just adore this entire series. And just such a great series. Like, I go back and rewatch this series more than any other movie series, believe it or not. I love it. All right. Now, we still only have one viewer in here. Come on, guys. Come on, guys. Come on. You can do better than that. Let's do this. We have the Hunger Games complete collection on Blu-ray. It also came with the Mockingjay pin. Obviously, that's taken out of there now. It's actually sitting right over there. I would get it, but it's sitting on my bed. My bed's too far away. I love all these movies as well. Really underrated series, in my opinion. Yes, Mockingjay Part 1 and 2. I include those. I still love those films, even though a lot of people really don't. And it also just may be my age. Like, I am definitely the target demographic for that. But even, like, when I'm older, like, when I'm in my 40s and I watch the Hunger Games films, I'm still, like, even if I don't appreciate the story as much, I'm still going to recognize how well made from a technical perspective they are. Next up, we have one of my favorite horror films, Insidious. I haven't seen the other Insidious movies. I haven't seen Insidious Chapter 2, Chapter 3, or Insidious The Last Key, although I hear that they're actually not terrible somehow. But the first Insidious, one of my favorite horror films of all time. It's not my favorite horror film of all time, keeping in mind that I haven't seen, like, The Exorcist, you know, like, I haven't seen the original Halloween. Like, there's a lot of big horror films that I haven't seen, but this film I love. Just thinking about it, just thinking about some of the visuals in this film still gives me chills. Just the reason I'm stuttering and pausing here is because there's so many creepy visuals that are going through my head right now that are in this film, and even just the cover is just, ugh. I'm gonna put that right there. Okay. Next up, we have The Invisible Man 2020 on 4K Ultra HD. Cool story, actually, about how I was able to obtain this beautiful piece of art. John Flickinger, the Flick Pick, one of my favorite YouTubers of all time, he receives free Blu-rays and movies from movie studios because of he's gotten a little bit big on YouTube and everything, and he does movie stuff. You know, same as Jonathan Stuckman. Universal sent him 3 copies of this movie on 4K, and he gave away 2 of them. He gave away 2 of those copies. He made a post on Twitter, and he said, if you like this post and leave a comment, I'll select 2 people at random to receive a copy of The Invisible Man. Now, I made a video on him, Jeremy Johns, and Stuckman. And he saw that video, and he commented on it. He liked it. Now, a few weeks later, when he was doing this raffle, I left my comment on the Twitter post, and I said, hey, man, Here's the comment, fingers crossed for my favorite thriller of 2020. And he DM'd me later that night. He was like, you win, man. Send your address for the movie. I was like, oh my goodness, I'm actually getting the Invisible Man on 4K. John Flickinger noticed me. He's sending me the Invisible Man on 4K. How great is that? So that's how I was able to get this film. And I love this film, honestly. I really do. Elizabeth Moss is great in it. Benjamin Hunter Green says, the scene in Insidious when you hear the demon through the baby monitor is absolutely terrifying. That is one of the scenes I was thinking of when I was holding up that Insidious Blu-ray. And oh my goodness, like you just hear the shout just goes, rah! And then like the music is just, like it's not, the music in Insidious, it's not like there's jump scares in Insidious, but it's like that tangy, metallic, boom, echoey thing that Insidious does. Such a great bone-chilling soundtrack. And even more terrifying in that scene, well, not in that scene, it's a scene later where she's hearing stuff on the baby monitor again. The baby starts crying. She runs up there, and the room is like bathed in red, and you just see this figure. I'm getting chills just thinking about it. You just see this figure standing by the drapes, standing behind the drapes over the baby's crib. And what's so brilliant is that when you see it, there isn't a loud jump scare noise immediately. It's like it shows it, and it's silent. And then a couple seconds after, you are able to figure out what's going on, right? Like the jump scare noise doesn't play until a couple seconds after you see it. It's like you see it, and then you realize, is that? And then you realize, and then when you realize, you go, oh, and then that's when the jump scare noise happens. That is brilliant, brilliant, terrifying timing. Next up, we have a film that if you don't own it, you're an idiot. Jaws. I'm actually not going to talk about this movie because what can I say about this movie that hasn't already been said? We're just moving on to the next movie because, I mean, come on. What do I need to say about Jaws? Everything's already been said. Classic film. Jeepers Creepers. Actually a very underrated horror film. I know the director of this film did some stuff. He was convicted of certain things. He went to prison, moved on, made a movie. And I think it's actually a pretty well-made, very underrated horror film. And the final scene in this movie, I'm not going to spoil anything, but the final scene in this movie terrifies me. There are certain horror films that I can watch before bed. Like, I can watch The Invisible Man before bed and go to sleep fine. This film and Insidious are the two horror films that I cannot watch before bed and be able to fall asleep. And if I do fall asleep, I'm going to have nightmares because the final scene in this movie is just terrifying. One of the most terrifying scenes I've ever seen in regards to just imagery. All right, next up we have the action film that has been the action film to beat ever since it came out. There's not been an action film better than this one, in my opinion. The first John Wick film. The John Wick franchise, great franchise. But this original film had such an emotional depth to it. There was such an emotional and revenge-centered reason for why he was going out there on this killing spree. And the action in this film is insane. Insanely well-directed action. Probably the best the most well-directed action of the 2000s. And I mean 2000 to 2010 and 2010 to 2020. The past 20 years, best action film out of the past 20 years for me. I know there's like some classic action, well, not classic, but like modern day classic action films from the early 2000s, but I adore this film, and Keanu Reeves is so good in it. He's so great in that film. Benjamin Hunter Green says, apparently they're going to be filming John Wick 4 and 5 back-to-back in 2021. I did see that. I was browsing Instagram yesterday, actually, and like all the big movie news profiles were posting that. So yeah, right after they finish filming John Wick 4, they're going to immediately start filming John Wick 5 right after they finish, like literally right after they finish filming John Wick 4. So right after John Wick 4 is released, it's not going to be too long before John Wick 5 is released. And it's easily Keanu Reeves' most consistent franchise. All right, next up we have can you really can you call this a comic book film? I don't know. Joker. Joaquin Phoenix is amazing in this film. I'm glad he won the Oscar. It's like, I don't know, but it's like, I wasn't a big fan of his Oscar speech, but the fact that he won was great. But honestly, I don't really care about the Oscars much anymore. It's way too much about politics and celebrities now. I'm not really into that. But he really did deserve that Oscar. I would have been happy if Adam Driver got it too. Adam Driver gave a great performance, but like, and I'm not saying Joaquin Phoenix is better, but like, it was like Adam Driver and Joaquin Phoenix. Joaquin Phoenix, but Adam Driver. But Joaquin Phoenix though. But Adam Driver though. Like it was such a big conflict for me. So in the end, I decided, you know what? I'm happy with either of them winning. And I gotta make room for the rest of these in here. All right. Putting that right. Oh, wow. That fits perfectly. All right. We have the original Jurassic Park trilogy on Blu-ray. I love the first two Jurassic Park films, Jurassic Park and The Lost World. Love those films. And honestly, I don't hate Jurassic Park 3. Like, the characters are very poorly written, but it's actually a pretty, like, entertaining, short, poignant 90-minute thriller. I've always enjoyed Jurassic Park 3. It's not a good movie, but like I enjoy it. Like there's good things in it. But yeah, super cool collection here. Unfortunately, most of the discs in here are scratched now because I've had this for years. This was one of the first Blu-rays that I ever had. And I decided, okay, well, I can just buy a new copy of this collection. Maybe the entire collection that was recently released after the release of Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. And then I was like, no, I want to buy each movie on the individual Blu-ray. I don't want to have them in a giant collection. I'm still going to keep this despite the fact that the movies in here actually don't play. I'm going to buy the individual Blu-rays because I'm a weird collector guy. All right. Oh my goodness, this is like barely fitting. There we go. There we go. I got it to work. Speaking of Jurassic Park, next up we have Jurassic World on the individual Blu-ray. All right, Benjamin Hunter Green says, I like to think of Jurassic Park 3 as a large-budget sci-fi original movie. It's not terrible, but I wasn't a fan personally. Yeah, I wouldn't call myself a fan of Jurassic Park 3, but like if I'm just looking for some good guilty pleasure popcorn entertainment, I'll put in Jurassic Park 3. Oh my goodness, but that dream sequence on the airplane when they're flying to the island, and Alan Grant is dreaming, and he looks over, and there's just a raptor there, and it just says, Alan. Alan. That scene makes, I just cry. I just cry laughter every time I watch that film. Jurassic World, considerably better than Jurassic Park 3. Still not a great film by any means, but I think it's a good movie, you know? I mean, I definitely like it more than most people did. I think Chris Pratt is like a really good actor. I think he's hilarious in this film. Bryce Dallas Howard character's kind of annoying at first, but she grew on me. And the kids in this film aren't annoying. They really, that's something that the Jurassic Park franchise is actually really good with. Like the kids in the original Jurassic Park film, not annoying. The kid in The Lost World, not annoying. The kid in Jurassic Park 3, not annoying. Like, all the kids in the Jurassic Park films are really good. However, something I will say about the kid in Jurassic Park 3, the actor who played him, the character's name is Eric. That's the kid's name in Jurassic Park 3. The actor who played him, he was right in that time period when his voice was going through changing, like right in the middle of puberty. So there's there's a scene where he shouts that Alan Grant is across the river, and it literally sounds like, he over by the river. It's like so bad. That really hurt my throat. Oh my goodness. But he's still a good actor. Like, I like all of the kids in the Jurassic Park films, even when the adults maybe aren't as interesting. And that includes Jurassic World. I really enjoyed this movie. And the last act Like the first 2 acts, it's good. Like it's an okay, good-ish kind of like it's entertaining. But the last act of this film, I think, is legitimately amazing. What's up, Lightning Strike Studios? Good YouTube pal of mine. Thanks for joining, man. But yeah, the last act of this film, I think, is great. Like, I actually think it's great. Like, if the entire movie was like the last act of this film with a little bit more character development and a better written story, this movie easily would have been like a great movie as a whole. Now, as a whole, I think it's a good movie. That's because the first 2 acts are okay and the last act is great. So for me, that evens out to an overall good movie. But yeah, I'm definitely a bigger fan of this film than most people. All right, next up we have La La Land. You can call this an Oscar bait movie. You know, the Oscars really just kept on, like, patting this film on the back. Like this movie won, like, a ton of Oscars and everything. It won 6 Oscars, got nominated for 14. It tied with Titanic as the film with the most Oscar nominations, and it won 6. And a lot of times that can cloud how great a movie actually is. Because it's like people look back on La La Land and they were like, oh, that was that Oscar movie that was very Oscar-y and it won all the Oscars. Pushing that aside, it is a legitimately great film, and it's by Damien Chazelle, who also directed Whiplash, which is actually being released to 4K in September. That is definitely going to be something I pick up. I still love this movie. A+. A+. Did you see Moonlight as well? I did see Moonlight. Yes, I did see Moonlight. Great movie. That Oscar mess up back in 2017 when they accidentally announced La La Land as the Best Picture winner. I actually was just talking about this yesterday over a Zoom meeting with this film program that I was doing. That Oscar mess up it's like when I was watching it back in 2017 and they announced La La Land as Best Picture, I was like, good, I love that movie. That's a great movie. And then when they were giving their speeches, they were like, we didn't win, by the way. And I was like, what? And then the announcer comes up, he's like, Moonlight, you guys won Best Picture. And I was like, oh, right. And I actually didn't see Moonlight until a few years later, because obviously this is a much more mature film. But still, Moonlight winning Best Picture, good. Like Titanic, it gets too much hate. I completely agree. Titanic is so overshadowed by, like, the scene. You guys know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to elaborate on it here. And it really, like, clouds the fact that it actually is a legitimately great film. Like, Titanic is a great movie, but everyone just wants to talk about romance and, you know, a scene that a lot of teenage boys at the time really liked. Okay. Benjamin Hunter Green says, what do you think of Taxi Driver? Also, are you a fan of Ralph the Movie Maker? I haven't seen Taxi Driver in its entirety. I still have a year or two to go before I can fully experience that film. I have seen, like, small little things here and there just from, like, movie analysis videos that I've watched that reference Taxi Driver. I saw an analysis of Joker that referenced Taxi Driver quite a bit. From what I've seen, though, it looks really good. And am I a fan of Ralph the Movie Maker? Yes, I am a fan of Ralph the Movie Maker. I'm subscribed to his channel. I don't agree with him on a lot of things, but I think he has really good videos, and I think he states his opinions very well. In fact, his video on The Invisible Man 2020 is actually really good. He makes some really good points there. All right, Lightning Strike Studio said, I felt bad, though. Felt bad about what? Felt bad about what, man? I'm flying? Oh, you're referencing Titanic. Yeah, it is. I mean, I will say there's some cheesy moments, but cheesy doesn't mean bad, you know? Like that scene where it's Jack and Rose standing and he's, like, holding her waist as she... no, she doesn't... she doesn't spread her arms out. That's Leo, right? Or is it... No, it is her. Yeah, it is Kate Winslet, Rose, and she's like, Jack, I'm flying. And it's like... No, it's like, yeah, you're a good actress. Dialogue's kind of cheesy, but, you know, it still works. Like, when I watch it, I'm still like, oh, this is so cute. I'm a sap. What can I say? If I own this, I own the complete television show of Dawson's Creek. If that doesn't prove that I am an emotional, sensitive sap, I don't know what will. Death scene, I'm flying. I don't know what you mean. Car scene? Oh, what is happening? You're saying so much. The death scene, are you talking about the big death that everyone knows about at the end of Titanic? I don't agree with Jeremy John. What are you talking about? What scene in Titanic do you mean? The car? Oh, no. Oh, okay. I see what you mean now. There's a couple scenes in Titanic. One, a scene that I will simply refer to as the sketching scene. That's all I'm going to refer to it as. And then, yes, there is a scene in a car, but it's more well known for the sketching scene. Lightning Strike Studios. What scene is the famous scene? Yeah, I just answered that. Sorry, there's a little bit of a delay, so like just by a few seconds. But yeah, that is the scene I'm talking about. All right, well, wow, we went in a long discussion there. All right, next up we have the first Maze Runner film, another series that I think is extremely underrated. I think the action in these films is very well directed, perfectly directed, actually, the action in these films. And it's just a really investing story. Again, it might be because of my age, because I have read these books, and it is very much directed towards my demographic, similar to the Hunger Games films and the Divergent films, which I also need to get the Blu-rays for. But I don't know. Like, there's just something about the Hunger Games series and the Maze Runner series that just makes me think I'm always going to love it, no matter how old I get. Let's see. Benjamin Hunter Green says, the sketching scene changed my life forever. Yeah. Like I said, that movie was PG-13. Today it would have been rated R. But back in 1997 when it came out, you know, a lot of teenage boys went and saw that movie, and, you know, it shaped the generation we have today. The second Maze Runner film, the Scorch Trials, Lightning Strike Studio says, and I said Jeremy Johns because you don't agree with the critic you like. I don't usually agree with Johns. I agree with Johns a lot of times, but like there are some things that I don't really agree with him on. I don't really agree with his opinion on Glass, but like I still recognize that he's very good at just talking about movies. And here's the thing. Chris Stuckman has been essential viewing for me for a few years now. Like, whenever he uploads, I'm like the first person there. I immediately click on that and I watch that video. Jeremy Johns, when I got the notification, I was like, yeah, I'll watch that a little later. Like, I still watched all of his uploads. But he didn't become essential viewing for me until 2019 when he did a vlog video for each month of 2019. Seeing his life, seeing the type of person he is, that is what made it for me. That is what made him essential viewing. And now I also, just like Stuckman, watch all of his videos as soon as they upload. I didn't agree with his opinion on Knives Out. Made me mad for a month. I also don't really agree with his opinion on Knives Out. Like, I loved Knives Out. I didn't, like, adore it, but, like, I loved it. Like, it was a great film. And his opinion on Knives Out, here's the thing, even though I don't agree, I can see where he's coming from. Like, I can still see, I understand where he's coming from. But yeah, back to the Blu-rays here. The second Maze Runner film, my opinion on this is the same as the first. Really well-directed action, great performances, very investing story. Benjamin Hunter Green says, I saw Chris Stuckman at the Columbus Zoo one year. I could have met him, but I chickened out. Dude, why didn't you go up to him and be like, what is up? I mean, don't do that, because he probably would have gotten scared. Like, just a random fan, like, just a random person walks up and he's like, what is up? Like, don't do that. But, dude, that's such a missed opportunity, man. Man, if I probably would have done the same thing. Like, I probably would have been like, I probably was standing up and been like, oh my gosh, Dad, that's Chris Stuckman. I gotta go say hi. I probably would have walked up to him and been like, no, never mind. And then I'd just walk away. Because it's just, and it's weird because he really is just a guy in Ohio who loves movies, who's directing films and quite possibly might be directing a feature soon. Really glad about that news, by the way. But yeah, I was nervous as hell. Plus, he was with his wife, and I didn't want to bother him. Yeah, I completely understand that. That is it's just him and his wife there having a good time, and you don't want to like walk up to them and be like, "Hey, I'm a fan." Like you don't want to ruin their time. The third, sorry, I zoned out there for a second. The third Maze Runner film, The Death Cure, my favorite in the trilogy. Once again, very well directed action, very good performances, and in my opinion, the most emotionally impactful film in the trilogy. We have the Mission Impossible 5 movie collection. I do have Fallout on the individual Blu-ray right there. I love the Mission Impossible franchise. It's just under the John Wick franchise is my favorite current running action franchise. But yeah, except for Mission Impossible 2. Mission Impossible 2 was not the best. I'd go up to any famous person, LOL. Yeah, for me, I'd get so nervous. Like, I don't know. In fact, speaking of that, I was watching I've been like binging YouTube for the past few days, and I really like the videos where it's celebrities surprising fans. Like, even if it's a celebrity that I'm not really into. For example, I think it was Drake. Yeah, it was Drake. I respect him, but I don't really listen to his music much. He traveled to a hospital on the other end of the country just to visit like a 10-year-old girl who was such a fan of him. And like when celebrities do that, it's just like that's great, Like, not only is he really big and famous, he's a genuinely nice guy, kind of like Tom Holland. All right. We have Mission Impossible Fallout, my personal favorite Mission Impossible film. Everything about this film was just so great. So great. And we have M. Night Shyamalan's trilogy, Unbreakable, Split, and Glass. I adore Unbreakable, I endorse Split, and I liked Glass. And that's kind of an unpopular opinion. A lot of people were very disappointed in Glass, but I liked it. I liked Glass. Don't care for the twist. Some of the pacing is off. But overall, I think it's an okay film. All right, now we have Murder on the Orient Express, the remake. Not the original film from the 70s. I still haven't seen that. A lot of people really didn't like this movie. But honestly, I kind of really dug it. Like, I kind of fell in love with this movie, actually. I thought it was very well made. I thought the performances were all great. And yeah, like, I thought it was a very well shot film. Now, maybe when I go and watch the original 1970s film, I'm not gonna, like, I'll probably realize, yeah, that's better. But I haven't seen it yet, and right now, I love this movie. All right, we got a couple comments here. Benjamin Hunter Green says, I honestly really like The Village, and Lightning Strike Studio says, great book. Ben, yes. Like, a lot of people hate on Shyamalan. A lot of people say that The Village is when he started to decline into just absolute crappy movies. But I also, personally, really love The Village. I think it is a great film. Certain aspects could have been executed better, but overall, I think it's a really good movie. And the performances are also great. Joaquin Phoenix is in it. Bryce Dallas Howard is in it. Who is the other person? What was her name? It was the actress who played Jamie Lee Curtis's daughter in the 2018 Halloween film. What is her name? Her name's slipping my mind right now. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I don't know, but she's also in The Village. I personally also really like The Village. Good movie. Very good movie. Next up, we have what just might be my favorite movie of all time. Like, I haven't chosen one, so don't quote me on this. But honestly, Nightcrawler is a masterpiece. It is a perfect film in my mind. And there's not many movies out there that I will call perfect. I may give a film an A+. That doesn't mean it's perfect. Like, I'm still going to recognize maybe a technical flaw. Like, The Empire Strikes Back. I would give that film an A+. But there's still some shots and some things in there that don't really hold up. So, technically, it's not a perfect movie. Nightcrawler, in my opinion, is a perfect movie. It's not like the only perfect film out there. But Gyllenhaal's performance in this film is just so great. And this is actually the film that got my channel started. This is the first movie I ever reviewed. And in that review, I gave it a 9.5. I actually give it a 10 now. Perfect movie, in my opinion. Perfect. Benjamin Hunter Green says, I blame the marketing for The Village's negative reception. Same thing happened with It Comes at Night. Great film, but mismarketed. Judy Greer, I believe, is who you're talking about. Yes! Thank you very much, Ben. Yes, Judy Greer is who I was talking about. And yeah, that's I completely agree with you. They marketed The Village as this terrifying, suspenseful horror film from the guy who gave us The Sixth Sense, Unbreakable, and Signs. You know, so obviously everyone's going to get really excited. They're like, ooh, what's this going to be? Is it going to be like this big showdown between the villagers and the creatures? And then The Village was very much a period piece romance. There's definitely some terrifying scenes. There's definitely some very suspenseful and shocking moments. But overall, it's more of like a romance thriller. But I benefited from not being like I benefited from not being around when The Village came out the year before I was born. I benefit, like when I watched it for the first time, last year, maybe 2 years ago, completely detached from the marketing and the hype, and I watched it and I was able to appreciate it as a romance thriller. So yeah, I really like The Village. And yes, Judy Greer is who I was talking about. Next up we have 1917. Great film. Great film. Obviously this movie wasn't actually shot in all one take, but it's one of those films that's made to look like it's done in all one take, like Birdman, for example. And that really lended itself to a war film. Like, I was like, holy crap, like the one take gimmick actually really works in a war film. Yeah, I love this movie. I really do. And my opinion on it has slightly changed. I reviewed that film when it first came out, and I said it's very much style over substance. You don't really care about the characters. I rewatched that film not too long ago, and I actually cried by the end. When someone, I'm not going to spoil it, obviously, but when someone, has to, there's a scene towards the end where someone has to tell someone about someone's death, it actually made me cry the second time I watched it. So I do kind of change that, my opinion on that. Rope was all in one shot. Yes, Rope by Alfred Hitchcock was actually all in one shot. I actually forgot about that film. Thank you for reminding me about it. I haven't seen it, but I do know that it is done actually in all one shot. Like, there's no hidden cuts. You know, there's no part where a camera pans behind someone's back and the screen is obscured in darkness for a second so that they can sneak a little cut in there. No, Rope was actually done in all one take. Rope is fantastic. Hitchcock is a genius. Again, haven't seen Rope, but Hitchcock is a genius. The death was early on. That did happen. Yes, the death in 1917 was early on, and it is painful to watch. You have to watch every last second of it, but it's towards the end when someone has to tell another person about the death, and the music and the cinematography, it hits me, man. All right. Next up, we have Non-Stop. Once again, another very underrated film, in my opinion, starring Liam Neeson, Liam Neeson is a perfect man. Liam Neeson is so awesome. Ever since the first Taken, he has been pumping out these great, extremely exciting and thrilling action films, and Non-Stop really delivers. Yeah, I love this. I have no shame in saying that I love this movie, and it's actually directed by Jean Colette Serra, who also directed another film that we're going to be talking about. I actually did a video on that other film, and I'm doing an entire series where I talk about a bunch of his movies that I think are very, very underrated, and I think that should be talked about more. This is going to be the next Sarah series video, so look out for that. Got a comment here. Lightning Strike Studios says, but it was all at once. It did pan into backs to switch every 10 minutes because the camera didn't work the whole movie. Yes, there are times when, because obviously film, obviously digitally now it can record for a lot longer, but with film, back then, like actual physical film, it did run out like about every 10 minutes. So they did have to redo it. But they almost got immediately after they put a canister of film right in the camera and then continued the shot. So like from a technical level, it's still, while it was still multiple takes, it's still like there wasn't, like, it's not like 1917 where it's like, okay, we're gonna move behind the back, cut, and we'll finish up the shot the next day. That's not how it was with Rope. All right, next up we have my favorite survival film of all time, true story or fiction. Out of all survival films ever made, 127 Hours is easily my favorite. This is based on a true story, but it also rivals any fictional survival film out there. I adore this film. James Franco is an amazing actor. Like, he's just so good in this film. And it's a beautifully shot movie. This movie was directed by Danny Boyle, who also did Slumdog Millionaire. Yeah, really, just a powerful movie. The scene towards the end of this film, again, it's a true story, but I'm still not gonna say it. The scene towards the end of this film, the music and the visuals and the timing of the shots with the music is just, it kills me every time. Like, I literally laugh. I literally, like, cry laughter. Just complete, overwhelming happiness and joy every time I watch this film towards the end when that scene plays out. Such a powerful movie. Speaking of Danny Boyle, have you seen Trainspotting? I have not seen Trainspotting. However, I really want to, and it's supposed to tackle some very serious subject matter, and it's supposed to, but it also weaves some really clever comedy in there. I haven't seen Trainspotting, but I really want to. Next up, we have The Princess Bride. Classic film. We were also just talking about this film on the Zoom meeting for the film program the other day. There's a line in this film where they're talking about masks, and someone says something along the lines of, who knows, maybe in the future everyone will be wearing masks. How right they were. How right they were. Oh, and the comedy in The Princess Bride is so good. That scene, everybody move! Such a great scene. Next up, we have a pretty good animated film, Rio. You can laugh, make fun of me, but I'm a sucker for a good animated film. As you'll see with the last film in this collection, I'm going to say some stuff about the last film in this collection that you might... Sorry. Dropped it. I'm going to say some stuff about the last film in this collection that you might be shocked to hear. But I love a great animated film, and Rio is a great animated film in my opinion. Yeah. Great film, great animation, great music too. Jamie Foxx plays the bird and the little yellow bird. He's there, I think. Yeah, that guy, the little yellow bird. Jamie Foxx is actually a pretty good singer in that movie too. Ben says Trainspotting is fantastic. It's got a great soundtrack too. Lust for Life by Iggy Pop, killer tune, no pun intended. It is a pretty good pun though. But yeah, man, I'll definitely have to check it out. Maybe I can go ahead and get that Blu-ray, because I am saving up to get like a gigantic haul of Blu-rays, because physical media is kind of dying out, and I love that physical media. So I got to get all of it. Yes, I will definitely check out Trainspotting. Do not worry. Saving Private Ryan. Man, Spielberg is just... Come on, man. Saving Private Ryan, this movie is brutal. The most violent war film since Saving Private Ryan was Hacksaw Ridge. And honestly, it's always a competition. For me, as my favorite war film, it's always competition between Saving Private Ryan and Hacksaw Ridge. It's always competition between that. Saving Private Ryan is so great, though. Lightning Strike Studios asks, what is your job? I actually don't have a job right now, if that's what you're asking. However, I am planning on working at Chick-fil-A because Chick-fil-A does pay like $12 an hour, and you get a free meal a free Chick-fil-A meal for your lunch break every day if you work there. Well, you get $8, which can buy you a chicken sandwich and a drink, which is all I need. Chick-fil-A is my favorite chicken place of all time. Ben says, watch Come and See, my favorite war film of all time. Come and See. I actually never heard of that film. Let me look it up real quick. Come and See. 1985. It is a war. Wow. 97% on Rotten Tomatoes, 8.3 out of 10 on IMDb. Yeah, man, let me go ahead and add that to my watch list real quick. Wow. How have I never heard about that? All right, there we go. It is added to the watch list. Thank you for recommending it, man. I will definitely check it out. All right, next up, I was talking about Jean-Claude Serra earlier, who directed Nonstop. The Shallows is the best shark film since Jaws. No question. Yeah, I actually love this movie. I actually think it is a great, great film. And it's not even like a guilty pleasure. I actually think, like, legitimately from a critical perspective, I think this is a great film. Blake Lively is amazing in it. It is shot beautifully. Everything looks amazing, including but not limited to Blake Lively. I did a video on this film. It's like 20 minutes long, and it's me just venting about how much I love this film. Should I watch it? Are you talking about Come and See or The Shallows? Which one? Ben says The Shallows is fantastic popcorn entertainment, very underrated. Completely agree. Super underrated film. I love this movie. It's actually extremely rewatchable. Lightning Strikes, you're talking about The Shallows. Yes, you really, really should watch The Shallows. The best shark film since Jaws. It seems like after Jaws, Hollywood just stopped taking shark movies seriously. Like, Jaws 2 was fairly serious, but Jaws 3 and 4 just completely just insane, just crazy. Jaws 3 is very entertaining in a bad way, though. But Jaws 4, I never want to watch Jaws 4. It's just so like emotionally draining and not in a good way. Jaws 4 is just a compilation of scenes where people are just crying and are just sad all the time. And it's like, what? Like, why did they do that? Lightning Strike says, I'm gonna make a Jaws 5 in 2045. Make it better than Jaws 4, man. But yeah, back to what Ben said about The Shallows being very underrated. Yeah, like, it's fantastic popcorn entertainment, but there's also some genuine moments in here that do pull at my heartstrings. There's a scene towards the end, without spoiling anything again, where she's sitting on the buoy and she's just remembering every like the backstory with her mother. She's just becoming so weak. She's so beaten up. She's just so vulnerable there. She's remembering things that her father said to her sister said to her. It's all just playing through her head. That scene, it gets me. It makes me feel something. Like, it's a really emotionally impactful scene. And I love this movie. Comment, say things about me, whatever you want to do. I don't know. I love it. Ben says, Jaws 4 is so bad. I'm shocked that it exists. Me too, man. And yeah, Blake Lively, Heart Eyes, yes. Blake Lively is great. Blake Lively is great. All right. Lightning Strike Studio said, it'll be saltwater crocodiles. Well, they kind of already did that. It's a movie called Crawl, which I also talked about, which was also very good, fantastic popcorn entertainment. But you know what? If you want to do a Jaws movie where it's crocodiles versus sharks, do it. But that might go down the Sharknado path. It's like, it might be kind of like, I don't know how you could do that without making it be ridiculous. But if you wanted to just do the crocodiles, you could do that, because they kind of already did that, and they did it well. But yeah, speaking of sharks, next up we have the first nonfiction piece in this thing, except for 127 hours. Lightning Strike Studio says, I know it's a spoof. Oh, that's what you're talking about, the spoof thing. Okay. Now I understand. Now I completely understand. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I get it. All right, yes. That would be an amazing spoof. That'd be great. But yeah, we have the Shark Week 25th anniversary collection. Super excited for Shark Week this month. I'm definitely gonna check that out. Yeah, I love Shark Week. It's a great documentary show. Like I really like it. Next up, we have another Shyamalan film, Signs, which I think Signs is actually like very, very underrated. A lot of people talk about how at the end they show too much of the CGI aliens. Look, I agree. They show a little bit too much, but that shot where the alien appears in the reflection of the television, that is great. And then there's even a wide shot where you see the alien's full body, but it's like bathed in darkness and shadows, and you see the windows behind it busted in. Yeah, like I'm fine with that, but it's later when you do see it completely fully lit, it doesn't look too good. They did have some practical stuff. There's another wide shot where it's in the background and you see Joaquin Phoenix with the bat hitting it, and you do see the full alien there, but it's in the background and a little bit out of focus, and that looked great. But overall, as a film, I do love Signs. I think it's a great movie. All right. Sorry, these Blu-rays are getting all pushed back and everything. I gotta make sure everything fits. Starting to sound like Michael Scott. All right. Putting it in right there. Perfect. All right, next up, we have one of the most disturbing films that I've ever seen in my entire life. The Silence of the Lambs. Great movie. Anthony Hopkins, Jodie Foster. Amazing film. Just so disturbing. Buffalo Bill is one of the most just messed up people that I've ever seen in a film. Like, here's my Buffalo Bill impression. I'm going to give it to you. I put the lotion in the basket. I put the lotion in the basket. I put the lotion in the basket. He's just so crazy and weird, but great performance by whoever played that. Next up, we have Stranger Things. Yeah, Wait, we got a comment. Lightning Strike Studios says, bro, your dad let you see that? Dude, Silence of the Lambs it's not terribly, it's not, like, it doesn't have, like, extremely mature content, like, extremely mature subject matter, but it doesn't actually show as much as people think. But this is really cool. This is actually the Blu-ray and 4K of the first season of Stranger Things, and yeah. And it's actually in VHS casing, because Stranger Things is a very 80s type show. So it's in like the classic VHS casing. You can open this up. It's got everything everything there. And come on, I'm trying to open it. There we go. Right there. Oh no! No, one of the discs just fell out. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to get up for a second and get it. All right, I'm coming back. We're all good. There we go. So sorry about that. But yeah, let me put that back in there really quick. But yeah, this is Stranger Things on 4K, and then this thing lifts out, and then the 2 Blu-rays are also there. It also comes with the free Stranger Things Season 2 poster. But yeah, really cool VHS casing for that. Really, really cool. All right, we got a question from Ben. What's a movie you love that everyone dislikes? Mine is Miami Vice by Michael Mann. Haven't seen Miami Vice, but a movie that I love that everyone else dislikes. Oh, man. I know there's definitely some out there. Let me think. I'm trying. Man, I don't know. Like, that's kind of hard, actually. Like, there's movies that I absolutely adore that people didn't necessarily dislike, but they just thought it was, just okay. The Maze Runner films are a big one for me. In fact, yeah, I'm going to go with the Maze Runner films, particularly Maze Runner, The Scorch Trials, the second one. A lot of people did not like that movie. I loved it. So that's my answer. Lightning Strike Studio says mine is Mall Cop 1 and 2. I love the first Mall Cop film. Like, I'm aware that it's not like a masterpiece of cinema, but it's just a great fun time. And I haven't seen Mall Cop 2 yet. Ben says, plus, if you want to watch a scary, horrifying film, check out the Poughkeepsie Poughkeepsie tapes. I don't know if I'm so American. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. It'll chill you to the bone. Scared me to the point where I felt unnerved when I was alone. Yeah, man, I'll definitely check it out. Let me go ahead and add that to my watch list too. Now I'm gonna have to spell this out. All right. There it is. Yes, I see it. Added to watch list. Yes, okay. Good. All right. Lightning Strike Studios says, Poughkeepsie is a town in New York. My dad's from there. Oh, cool. I didn't know it was a town. But yeah, definitely on the watch list now. And here's the thing. The Q&A segment is going to come after I'm done with the Blu-ray collection. We only have 7 movies left. Next up is Super 8. Steven Spielberg produced this movie, and it was directed by J.J. Abrams. This movie is like, it gets me. Like, this is... I adore this film. I think it is so great. And it gets me. Like, like, I love it. It's just, like, it's me. Like, if I were to ever make a film, like if I wanted to make a big budget film that would be seen by a lot of people, Super 8 would be the one to make with me. I love Super 8. I love it. Love Super 8. All right, next up we have To Kill a Mockingbird. This is a limited edition steelbook. This is the only steelbook that I own. A steelbook Blu-ray of To Kill a Mockingbird. This is one of my favorite black and white films of all time. The courtroom sequence in this film is one of the most riveting, thrilling, and enthralling things that I've ever watched in my life. Lightning Strike Studios says classic movie. Yes, extremely classic movie. And yeah, just like, I love this film. This was actually the last one in stock. I went on Amazon. This is very rare. This is probably the rarest Blu-ray I own. Like you can get the Blu-ray for this anytime, but the steelbook, I'm pretty sure I own. Like, I'm pretty sure this is the last steelbook of To Kill a Mockingbird. Because I went on Amazon, and now I'm sure if you look on eBay, there will be someone who had another steelbook of this movie, but like, this was the last one that was in stock. So I went on Amazon and I looked up To Kill a Mockingbird Blu-ray, and I just scroll and scroll and scroll. And then it shows that there's a steelbook, and it shows that it's the last one in stock. And I'm like, yes, I'm getting that. So yeah, I got it. Definitely the rarest Blu-ray I own. Next up is Tomb Raider, not the Angelina Jolie Tomb Raiders. This is the 2018 Tomb Raider film with Alicia Vikander as Lara Croft. Once again, amazing. I feel about this movie about the same way as I feel about the Shallows. I love it. I rewatched it a lot. It is extremely fun, very, very well made, amazing popcorn entertainment, but it actually does have some truly like tug at your heartstrings moments in here. And Alicia Vikander is a great actress. Haven't seen Ex Machina yet, but I should definitely check it out. All right, we are really nearing the end here. Next up is 12 Angry Men. This is my favorite black and white film. Despite what the cover might lead you to believe, this is a black and white film. Yeah, right there. Amazing film. This entire film is just one scene. It's literally like 2 hours of just one scene in one room, and it is riveting and my favorite black and white film of all time. Like, just amazing film. So well written. Probably one of the best screenplays ever written. Next up, Ben says 12 Angry Men is equivalent to pure cinematic perfection. Completely agree. 12 Angry Men is a masterpiece, and it is also one of the few movies that I will call 100% perfect. Next up, we have Wonder Woman 2017, directed by Patty Jenkins. I love this movie. Gal Gadot, or Gal Gadot, or is it just Gal Gadot? I'm not sure how to pronounce her last name, but I know her first name is Gal, and she's a cool gal. Like, this movie was so great. The last act does get a little bit too CGI heavy and, you know, typical comic book stuff, but visually and performance-wise, and the first two acts are so great. Like, it just never lets up, and even that last act, even though it does tread into more typical comic book movie territory, it's still good. Like, I still really enjoy it. Yeah, so great movie. And the scene in this film, when she dons the armor, steps up out of the trench and onto the battlefield, into no man's land, and walks, and it goes into the slow-mo, and she deflects the bullets, and they're just shooting at her, and the music, and her hair is just blowing behind her, and she's just walking. It's just, oh my goodness. From that moment, this is probably my favorite DCEU film, and no, Joker does not count. Joker is much more of a standalone film for me. I do think Joker is a better film, but Joker isn't really part of the DCEU. It's part of that DC Dark Universe thing that they're doing now. But yeah, I loved Wonder Woman. Great. DC has really come back lately. All right, the second to last movie, World War Z. Once again, amazing popcorn entertainment. And the last act of this movie is so great when they're in the hospital and the zombies are everywhere and they have like the axes and the baseball bats. You know, that classic, wonderful zombie stuff that us gorehounds love to watch. Pretty intense movie, even though it's PG-13. However, this also has the unrated version in here. Unrated version of World War Z, which is brutal, by the way. Oh my goodness, talk about blood. But yeah, and also a great performance from Brad Pitt. All right, now, man, every time I hold this Blu-ray, I just get so giddy. This next film, you may have remembered earlier in the stream when I said that the last film in this collection starts with a Z, because my Blu-ray collection is alphabetically organized. I don't know why. Like, I'm not ashamed or embarrassed. It's just like, so many people are shocked. Now, I told you that you are probably going to be shocked at some of the things I say about this particular film. But I don't care. Because opinions are opinions, film is subjective, and I'm really building this up right now. This final film, it is the last film in my collection currently. I adore it. I love it so much. And I'm not ashamed at all to admit, I take pride in admitting that this film is my favorite animated film of all time, my favorite Disney film of all time, and one of my favorite movies of all time. And that film is, yes, say what you want. Say what you want. I know. What about Lion King? What about Beauty and the Beast? What about Fantasia? What about The Incredibles? Zootopia. 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 All right, Ben says, oh, that's way better than I expected, honestly. Yeah, I know. It was weird because, like, on the first episode of XAYBEAST Live I also talked about Zootopia, and I said that it was my favorite animated film of all time, my favorite Disney film. And someone commented and was like, really? Zootopia? It's like, I mean, it's a good movie, but, like, what about The Lion King? What about Beauty and the Beast? For me, it's Zootopia. And Lightning Strikes Studios says, oh, I thought it would be The Little Mermaid. That's not that. LOL. I actually don't own a lot of the classic Disney animated films on Blu-ray. Ben says, I thought you were going to say Chicken Little or something. Yeah. No, I mean, it's weird because people love Zootopia. Like, in general, people think Zootopia is an amazing film. But, like, when someone says it's their favorite Disney film of all time and their favorite animated film of all time, immediately people are like, again, what about The Lion King? The original Lion King from '94. Not that cinematic suicide note that was the 2019 Lion King. Zootopia, for me, hits so close to home. It is the Disney film that affects me the most emotionally. I think it's the most aesthetically interesting Disney film. In regards to, like, character designs and models. No, I'm not a furry. Don't start saying that. I like the idea of the anthropomorphic animal characters. Like, I think that's just a cool idea. Benjamin says, how about Barnyard? Cinematic piece of art. Lightning Strike says mine is Incredibles. Haven't seen Barnyard, so I can't really speak about that film. And then Lightning Strike says, Mine is the Incredible. Yeah, The Incredibles is a great film. Lion King is a great film. But when it comes to themes and messages, Zootopia hits so close to home for me. Like, it's the message that I relate to the most. And like the Judy Hopps and Nick Wilde are just so awesome. Like, they're just so cool. And apparently a Zootopia sequel is in production, and that's going to be so great because, you know, Zootopia wraps up where they're kind of like partners on the police force, and I think that's cool. Like, having a buddy cop movie with them, that'd be great. Yeah, so yeah. Benjamin says, my favorite is Fantasia. Gotta go with the classics. Yeah, Fantasia is great. But yeah, as I said, for me, Zootopia just hits closest to home for me. Yeah, that is my entire Blu-ray collection. Yeah, so, but I'm not ending the stream quite yet. Now we are going to go into the Q&A segment of the stream where you guys can ask me anything and everything, and I will answer anything and well, obviously there's some questions that I won't answer, like if they're inappropriate or too personal, I won't answer them. But you know what I'm saying. Ask me anything. Benjamin says, The Straight Story by David Lynch is also a great Disney film. I haven't seen The Straight Story. I've never heard of that, actually. However, I do love David Lynch. But yeah, moving into the Q&A segment, just ask me a bunch of questions, and if that doesn't happen, then I'll find something else in this phenomenon up here to talk about. So yeah, there's a little bit of a delay, so I'm going to keep on talking, but like, ask me questions right now. Do it. I suppose I could talk about my video games if you guys want me to. Like, if I want to fulfill the runtime that is supposed to be included with the XAYBEAST live show. This thing is shaking a little bit too much. Need to readjust it. There we go. Yeah. Okay. We're good. We are good. All right. Yeah, I guess I can talk about my video games while I wait for you guys to give me some more questions. Let's get it. Let's get these video games. Wow. This isn't even all of them. My Blu-ray collection is certainly bigger than my video game collection, and my video games are not in alphabetical order. And, of course, this game right here. Need to put that in order. All right. And I also have some of these games. Okay. First up, Lightning Strike Studio says, I asked a question, though. What was your question? I don't see your question, man. Which question was it? Benjamin says, what's your favorite Kubrick film? Mine is Eyes Wide Shut. I actually haven't seen a lot of Kubrick's films. Man, haven't seen The Shining. I have seen 2001: A Space Odyssey, but I haven't seen Eyes Wide Shut. 2001: A Space Odyssey might be the only Kubrick film that I've seen. So I'm not gonna. I actually can't answer that question until I have seen all of his films. But yeah. So continue asking me questions as I start talking about these video games. The Lego Marvel Superheroes game, got it. Assassin's Creed 3, not the best game, but enjoyable. Lego Dimensions, very fun and entertaining. Ben says, oh boy. Yeah, I know. I call myself a film fan, I know, right? All right, next up we have the 2013 Tomb Raider reboot game. Great game, amazing graphics. And then we have the sequel to that game, which is Rise of the Tomb Raider. Might be my favorite in the Tomb Raider reboot trilogy of video games. And then we have Shadow of the Tomb Raider, easily the best looking game in the... Oh, wait, we got a comment here. Lightning Strike Studio says, no, he said it because of my question. What was your question? Just tell me what the question was. I'm looking for it. I'm looking for your question, man. I don't see it. So just repeat it for me. We have Shadow of the Tomb Raider, The best looking game in the reboot trilogy by far, but not a very satisfying ending. Not a very satisfying ending. Ben says, dude, it's okay. I haven't seen Fight Club, The Godfather, Back to the Future, or The Matrix, so I got some catching up to do. Out of those, I haven't seen Fight Club or The Godfather. I have seen Back to the Future and The Matrix. Great movies, definitely. Get on that, man. The Matrix is actually on Netflix right now. All right, next up we have Infamous, which, you know, a lot of video game movies are so bad, but Infamous is a game that I'm like, why haven't they turned that into a movie? This is a great game. It would be a very, very, very good movie. Oh, okay. Next up we have, oh, sorry, my voice cracked there for a second. The Last of Us from Lightning Strike Studios. And above Ben's thing is my question. Dude, let me scroll back up in the chat here, I guess. Dude, I'm sorry. Maybe it just didn't go through. I don't know. YouTube is dumb. Sometimes certain questions just don't register. But yeah, sorry. I guess it must not have gone through. But anyway, The Last of Us competition with this next game that I'm about to talk about as my favorite video game of all time. I have reviewed The Last of Us on my channel, as well as The Last of Us Part 2. Spoiler-free reviews, and I am going to have spoiler reviews for those games as well. And The Last of Us Part 2, which I adored. If you watched my video on The Last of Us Part 1, Angelina. Are you talking about Angelina Jolie? Let me find this back when we were talking about Tomb Raider. I'm sorry, man. I don't... I'm really sorry, man. I'm not seeing your question here. I really am sorry. Like, I'm genuinely sorry. Like, I do want to answer whatever question it was, but it's just not registering. But yeah, if you saw my review, Ben, I will neither confirm nor deny my response to that. I'm sorry. I'm getting so many notifications. Oh my gosh. Okay, I guess I didn't see your question, but you just sent it to me. Okay. His question. I don't like to get to the stuff on my YouTube channel because basically he asked who, and again, viewer discretion. It's actually not that bad, but I'm just saying. Who is hotter? Angelina Jolie or Alicia Vikander as Lara Croft? Look. Here's the thing. I don't judge. Like, okay, it's not like judging, but like I don't have conversations like that. Like a lot. Like obviously internally, I, you know, tell myself, but like. Like, if you're asking me which one of them in regards to like their portrayals of Lara Croft, like I don't have criteria for that. But like, if you're asking me if I was like a full-grown adult, who would I rather like be involved with? Like, who would I rather like be in a relationship with or go on a date with or something? Alicia Vikander, because I find her Lara Croft to just be more engaging and just more investing and like. And like Angelina Jolie's Lara Croft was awesome. Okay, like it's that the original Tomb Raider film with Angelina Jolie is like crazy guilty pleasure fun. I have watched it multiple times, but when it comes to me, I'm gonna say Alicia Vikander. Okay, because let's get away from that discussion. Last of Us 2, great game. All right, next up we have Uncharted 2 Among Thieves. I have played all of the Uncharted films. Uncharted 1, 2, and 3 are actually all in this case because I lost the cases for Uncharted 1 and 3. But I have played all of them. Great series. And then my personal favorite in the series, Uncharted 4, A Thief's End. Still one of the best looking games ever made. Then we got some Legos. We got Lego Jurassic World. This is a Lego game that includes every single Jurassic World movie, excluding Fallen Kingdom, because this game was released before Fallen Kingdom was released. Next, we have Call of Duty Ghost. I've never really been a fan of the Call of Duty games. Every now and then, I'll just jump on there just to, like, be satisfied just running around and, you know, shooting and things like that. It's fun. And then Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. Now we're getting into, this is probably the oldest game I have. The original Tomb Raider game from 1996. Yeah, for PlayStation 1. Yeah, I own this because I'm a collector person. I have played this game, and it's actually a good game. Like, it actually is. And not just for certain reasons. And then we have some 3DS games. These are actually my dad's. These were his when he was deployed. But this is Resident Evil Revelations. The Amazing Spider-Man. Ben says, ooh, Tomb Raider. Yeah, Tomb Raider. And then Star Wars The Force Unleashed, which I also had on Wii, I'm pretty certain. So those are all my Blu-rays and video games. I did that just so you guys could be asking me questions, but now I really don't have much else to talk about. So please, just ask me a bunch of questions. Ask me a bunch of questions. Just in the chat. In the chat. In the chat. Not just emojis, people. Come on. Questions, 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 questions. 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 I don't want anyone to, like, enter the stream and then it just be me in complete silence, you know? It's like, I hate that there's delays on these too. Like, you might comment a question, but I might not see it until like a minute after you commented. Here we go. We have a question from Ben. Have you seen anything by Paul Thomas Anderson? Probably, but I probably wouldn't remember that it was directed by Paul Thomas Anderson. Let me look up a bunch of movies that he's directed. Paul Thomas Anderson, and I'll say the ones that I've seen. All right. I'm going to list off the ones that I've seen. There Will Be Blood, The Master, and yeah, those are the only two Paul Thomas Anderson movies I've seen. Last film that I watched. Last movie that I watched a lot of movies, man. The last movie that I watched. Man, why is that hard for me to remember? Why am I not? Oh, it was Unbreakable. Yes, it was Unbreakable. The last movie that I watched was Unbreakable. Yeah, good question. I actually had to think there. Why do I have 7 FaceTime notifications? I don't know. Lightning Strike Studios. Indiana Jones. Yes, I have been watching the Indiana Jones films. When did you see Unbreakable? Oh, wait. Are you talking about last movie I saw in theaters? Because I have been watching the Indiana Jones films for the video that we're going to be doing on it. But I watched I watched Last Crusade, and then after watching Last Crusade, I kind of felt like watching Unbreakable for some reason, so I put in that Blu-ray. Do you have a Letterboxd account, and have you seen Uncut Gems? I have not seen Uncut Gems, but I do have a Letterboxd account. I do have a Letterboxd account. And Lightning Strike Studios' last film you saw at home, yes, Unbreakable. I do have a Letterboxd account. But I actually deleted Letterboxd, but my account is still up. But I couldn't give you the plug, so don't ask me for it. Because I deleted the app. 4 new... Oh, why are you sending me messages on my live stream, man? Oh, wow, that quality is really bad. Wow. Or maybe it's just the quality of your camera. Oh, look, Nostalgic's here. Who would you cast in an action movie if you were the director? I would cast Robert Pattinson as the hero and Tom Cruise as the villain. Tom Cruise makes a great villain. As I was talking about with Collateral, he's really good as a villain. And Robert Pattinson, yeah, he gets a lot of hate for Twilight, but he's actually a legitimately good actor. And yeah, and he's also Batman now. He's gonna be in, was it Mark Reeves? Matthew Reeves? Matt Reeves. Robert Pattinson is going to be Batman in Matt Reeves' movie simply titled The Batman. And I'm really excited for that. But yeah. And just so you guys all know, the guy commenting right here, Lightning Strike Studios, he's sending me videos of my live stream. Oh my god, you can hear me in the... Wow. Okay, thank you for that. Ben says, Tom Cruise is great in Magnolia as a villain type character. Another Paul Thomas Anderson film. Yes, he plays a great villain. Tom Cruise is a great villain. Yeah, I completely agree. I'd love to see that. All right, so keep on hitting me with those questions, people. That we're having some good discussions. This is some good questions. We are at an hour and a half, which is when I plan to end the stream. But it seems like we're having a good discussion here. So maybe we'll go to an hour and 45 minutes, maybe even 2 hours. Is your mic on? Good. Am I muted? Can you hear me? Can you hear the audio? Is that what's going on right now? Here, let me lean down to the mic. Can you hear me? Am I audible? Am I audible? Let me know. Is it muted? I don't know. I can't tell. What did you say? Wait, lightning. Your Blue Yeti. Yes, my Blue Yeti is plugged in and on. That is the audio that you're hearing, but because of the live stream, the audio quality of my microphone is not going to be as good as the audio quality in my normal videos. Yeah. Whoa, that voice. Is it like a good narration voice? My name is Xavier. I am currently live streaming on YouTube. I like movies and I am a filmmaker. And I really enjoy the art of filmmaking and watching movies. Do I have a soothing voice? Let me know. Don't ask me to do a Morgan Freeman impression. I'm still too young to go that deep. Maybe I could, maybe I couldn't. I don't know. My name is Morgan Freeman. Yeah, not a good impression. Oh, man. What is even happening? What is this episode of XAYBEAST Live become? Wow. But yeah, oh, and just for any newer viewers who don't really know what the whole XAYBEAST Live thing is about, really, it's a thing. It's a live show that I do every week, even though this is the first one I've done in like a month or two. I'm going to try to be more consistent with that. Probably going to be doing it on the weekends now that I have school during the week, because school down here started on August 6th early, I know. But yeah, so, you know, there's like schoolwork and things that I have to do. Ben says, you sound like the Quint from Jaws, that high-pitched screaming. Ooh, could I impersonate Quint? Let me think. Here, I'm going to hold the microphone up. I got the microphone right here. I'm trying to think of a line he says. You all know me. Oh, no, that was bad. You all know me. You know how I make a living. That was so bad. One second. Mr. Mayor. Wait, Mr. Mayor. No, oh my goodness, that's so bad. Mr. Mayor, Chief, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know. Oh, and then you hear that terrible high-pitched screaming. I'll come in and rip you to pieces. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I can impersonate Quint. Ben says Quint is like Bob Dylan with an Irish accent. Wow, I never thought about it that way, but yeah, actually, that's pretty accurate. He also said accurate. Sorry. He also says, at least I think that's what he sounds like. Yeah, I mean, I guess I'd have to listen to Bob Dylan's voice and then lay over an Irish accent from someone on it. But yeah, I guess yeah, it does kind of sound like that. I do enjoy doing impressions. So like, this is the Q&A, but like, if you want to comment and say, hey, do an impression of this character, I'll do it, or at least I'll do the best I can at it, keeping in mind that I'm probably going to do really bad at some others. But yeah, definitely give me some impressions to do, as well as just, continuing to ask me questions. Definitely. This is one of the best episodes of XAYBEAST Live. Seth Rogen laugh. Oh my goodness, the Seth Rogen laugh. Okay. I don't know if I can. It's such like a derpy thing. I don't know. I'd have to listen to a track of his laugh to properly impersonate it. I really, really would. Let me look. I think I should start speaking a little bit quieter. Do an impression of Helen Keller. I'll do an impression of Helen Keller in a second. But first, let me look up the Seth Rogen laugh. Here we go. Let's do it. Ah, it's an ad. But I will do an impression of Seth Rogen's laugh if I can. Okay, so it's like okay, so I think I can do that. I don't know. That's probably the best I can do. Do an impression of Helen Keller. I am an important figure in history. That was so disrespectful. I'm sorry. She did amazing things, but we don't have record of Helen Keller's voice. Lightning Strike Studios. Do you want to invent your own movie studio? My channel is called XAYBEAST Studios, but like, I don't think I want to do like a professional production company. Like, I think it's going to remain an independent production company, XAYBEAST Studios. So like, when I'm older and I start releasing like feature-length films, like indie films to film festivals, it will say XAYBEAST Studios at the beginning. But no, I don't want like a headquarters building where, I don't want all that. I'm more interested in just being completely open, just, getting gigs, like directing films, like people, like my agent calling me up and be like, hey man, I got this script. I think it'd be a good movie for you to direct. I want to invent my own studio. Yeah, that's amazing. And Lightning Strike Studios, that's a good name for a studio. So yeah, man, if you want to make your own professional YouTube studio, do that. Follow your dreams, man. Don't let anyone tell you that you can't. Definitely. I'm really embarrassed from that Seth Rogen laugh. Okay, so I'm going to pull up this live stream on here just to see how big the delay is. I'm going to pull it up just to see. The delay is. I'm going to pull it up. Hello, I am now looking at it. I'm going to pull it up. Hello, I am now looking at it. I am now looking at my stream. Oh my goodness. Okay, so it's not that bad of a delay. Ben says, have you seen anything by Akira Korosawa or Bong Joon-ho? I have seen some stuff by Bong Joon-ho. Akira Korosawa did Seven Samurai, right? Because I have seen Seven Samurai, and it's an amazing film. But let me make sure that I'm getting that right. Akira Korosawa. Let me make sure. Yes, he did. Okay, yes, he did. Okay, I don't even have to look it up. Yeah. The only thing by Akira Korosawa that I've seen is Seven Samurai, but I love Seven Samurai. It's a great film. And then Bong Joon-ho, I mean, obviously Parasite won Best Picture, made history. For directed by Bong Joon-ho. Bong Joon-ho directed Parasite, won Best Picture, amazing film. Now I'm looking, I don't know if Bong Joon-ho directed this film. But let me look up and see if he did, because I think he might have. No, okay. I was thinking Bong Joon-ho may have directed Train to Busan, which is also an amazing film. But no, that was directed by Yeon Sang-ho. Sorry if I butchered that name. But yeah, so I don't know why I got that mixed up. But yes, I have. Sorry, coughing. No, I don't want to give my computer COVID. I don't want to. He directed. Oh, Snowpiercer. Yes, Snowpiercer is an incredible film. I forgot that he directed that. How did I forget that? 1 second. I'm coughing. You know what I gotta do? You know what I gotta do? Here we go. Reduce the risk. Protect people. Be responsible. Wear your mask. Wear your masks, people. Yeah, we are going back to school down here, and we are going in person, but everyone has to wear a mask and enact social distancing. So, you know, we're trying to stay safe. Ben says, speaking of Korean cinema, you should watch Burning. It's on Netflix. Fantastic. Oh my goodness, Burning is on Netflix? What? I had no idea. That was on Suckman's Best of 2019. Let me look. Because if it's on Netflix, of course I'm going to watch it. Let me look. I've been wanting to watch. Oh my goodness, yes, it is. It's right there. Burning. Right there. Yeah, I am adding that to my watch list. Definitely. Yeah. Man. I'm going to watch that. Look forward to a review of that. I will definitely review it. Lightning Strikes Studio says, I should clean your mat. Wait. You should clean your mask just as much as you clean your clothes, or maybe even more. Yeah, my clothes, like obviously I wash clothes in the washer, but I actually hand wash my mask every day when I come home from school. As soon as I get home, first thing I do is take a shower to get all the, you know, germs off and everything, and then I hand wash my mask. I take soap and water and actually hand scrub it and everything, and some scrub brushes and everything to make sure it's as clean as possible. Because I'm telling you, I am not contracting this virus. They want to make me go back to school, fine, but I'm not contracting this virus. And I'm certainly not transferring it to my parents, transmitting it to my parents. Certainly not doing that. I'm not risking it. Not risking it. All right, yeah. Yeah, we can go to the full 2 hours. I think we can do it. Little over 15 minutes left. Lightning Strike Studio says, washing machine is probably better, though. I mean, I have washed it in the washing machine, but I feel like it's just more thorough when I do it with my hands, because like there's crevices and everything, and I like unfold it, and I mean, like I full on like really do it, you know? I mean, I wash my hands before I wash the mask so that the germs aren't getting it. Whoa, Benjamin, big comment. All right, let's see. Ben says, another film I'd recommend is Shame with Michael Fassbender. However, I'm not entirely sure if you're allowed to watch it since it's NC-17, unless your parents are cool with it. It depends on what it's NC-17 for. Like, if it's NC-17 for like violence or language, we're not like that's not as big of a deal. But if it's NC-17 for, you know, other things, if it's NC-17 for the reason blue is the warmest color is NC-17, then no. But yeah, I didn't know Michael Fassbender was in that film, but I have heard of it. I have heard of it. Let me look it up. Let me look it up. No. No. Or you could just be sneaky about it. Yeah, it's about okay. No, then probably not. And I'm not gonna be sneaky about something like that. Like, plus, it's just not something I'm like I recognize it may be a good character movie, like analyzing a character who is like that, but it's just not something that I'm really like attracted to. Like, it's not appealing to me. However, apparently it's supposed to be a good movie. So one day I will watch it. One day. And I'm not going to be sneaky about it. I'm a good child. I mean, it's not like I've never watched anything in the past. I have, definitely, but like, That's not the type of movie that I would sneak watch, you know? Like, because it needs to be something that I am actually, like, really want to watch. That, it's like, I don't know if I really want to watch that, but, like, what am I saying? It's escaping my head. Lightning Strike Studio says, do you do mask breaks at school? No, you are required to wear your mask all day long. And even, like, during lunch is when they really spread everyone out. That is the only time of the day when you can bring your mask, like, you have to, like, fold your mask up like this, and then you just eat like that. That's what we're doing for when you have to eat. And then during that time, when you do have to lift it up, you have to spread apart. Benjamin says, when I was 9, I saw a film called Sallow. Don't look that movie up. Well, now that you said it, I gotta look that movie up, man. You got me curious. What is Sallow? Sorry, my thing froze. Looking it up now. What's this about? Came out in 1975. It's not rated. It says it's a drama war film. What's so bad about this movie? What's so bad about it? Let me go to IMDb. Let me look. Whoa! Okay, just reading that. Yeah, now I get it. Okay, I get it now. All right, we're keeping that out of here. Oh, crap, I threw my phone over there. Yeah, moving on. Lightning Strike Studio said, read the plot. I did. That's what made me be like, oh, no. Oh, man. This is fun. I like talking with you guys. Ben says, it's not a bad film, to be honest, but it's still very disturbing. Yeah. There's a lot of movies that are very disturbing that are technically not bad. The type of disturbing we're talking about with that film, no, thank you. But yeah. All right. So we got just under 15 minutes left. With that in mind, I do want to talk about a couple things that I had in mind that I just want to kind of have out there. There's this Chrome extension. If you're not aware of it, there is this Chrome extension called Netflix Party. If you have Google Chrome, you can add it as an extension, and then multiple people can join in a Netflix party and watch a show or a movie on Netflix together all at the same time virtually. And it's really cool. So I've been thinking I might want to do that, like, with my fans. Like, wouldn't that be cool? Like, if I'm reviewing, like, The Matrix, like, The Matrix is on Netflix, so when I rewatch it to do that review, I invite my viewers to come in and join my Netflix party, and we can all watch it together, and then I can film the review and upload it. I think that'd be cool. What do you guys think? We can do that. And plus, just in free time, like, in our free time, like, if you guys ever just want to watch something with me, like, we can totally do that. Lightning Strike Studio says, can we do that? Yes, we can do that. If you have Chrome, you can add it there. Benjamin says, no, but it's based on a book by, I'm not even going to, sorry, I don't want to be disrespectful, so I'm not going to say that name, because I just can't, you guys know I can't read. Which is where the term sardine came from. I'm sorry. Since this is a family-friendly stream, I won't say what that means. Just look it up. All right, I'm not going to look it up on stream. Oh, sadism. Okay. Yeah, I know what that means. I'm not going to look it up. Ugh. All right. So yeah. So for the Netflix party thing, would you guys like that? Please comment. Let me know. I'd love to watch movies with you guys, because this virus, no matter how hard the universe tries, it is not going to keep us apart. We got Netflix party. We got Zoom. We got this. We got tons of things. We got Instagram, face video chat. We got FaceTime. You know, we have Skype. You know, we have tons of things. Yes, we would. You would like that. Okay, I have already added Netflix Party to my Google Chrome. So if you have Google Chrome, and if you don't, you can download it because you can't just do it being on the server. You got to download Google Chrome to your laptop if you don't already have it, and then look up Netflix Party and download the extension. It looks shady, but trust me, it's legit. Like, you're not going to get viruses or anything from it. Ben says, absolutely, dude. Telling from that Odyssey program, you seemed very knowledgeable about film. Well, thank you. And yeah, I basically spend every hour of every day doing nothing but film-related things. Researching film, watching movie reviews, watching making-of documentaries, watching Blu-rays, just everything. I do it all. I'm trying to be as knowledgeable as I can. I got a lot of movies that you've been recommending to me throughout the stream that I'm definitely going to watch now, if I'm allowed to. So yeah, let's do that. And yeah, oh, by the way, that Odyssey program was great. For those of you who don't know what that is, it was a 4-week summer film program based at CSU up in Ohio, Cleveland State University, and it was entirely through Zoom meetings. And it was basically like film class, but like it was with there were a bunch of students and they're all like teenagers, and we basically like our homework many times was to watch films, and then the next day on the Zoom meeting just talk about it. And then by the end of the program, each student will have made their own short film, which we did. And my short film that I made for that program is also currently on my YouTube channel. It is called Following. It is a drama horror short film. So yeah, definitely. Ben says, yeah, I'm 18, so sorry if I'm recommending films out of your age limit for the time being. I can watch quite a bit. Like, there's quite a bit I can watch. I've seen a lot, but like some of these films, you know, it comes down to, you know, parents wanting to be good parents. Lightning Strike Studio said, I was gonna make a short today. Why'd you stop? Making shorts is fun. Well, it can be very easily the most stressful part, because a lot of people think the most stressful part of making a film would be actually filming it, but no, it's really the editing process, at least for me anyway. Benjamin says, you did great with your short film, by the way. Gave me the Babadook vibes with the family stuff. Thank you so much, man. That actually means a lot, because I love the Babadook. Like, I love that film. That's one of my favorite horror films of all time. Right up there with Insidious for me. Yeah, I love the Babadook. And the fact that you're comparing it to the Babadook, that just, like, at no point did I think that anyone would think that my film was anywhere near on par with that. But thank you, man. Get John Flickinger to be in the next movie. Wait. Get John Flickinger to be in the next movie he's acting in. Notes for Melanie is Oscar-worthy. Notes for Melanie is such a great short film, and the small but very comedic role that John Flickinger had in it was amazing. Lightning Strike Studios, have to have my house for the day. Oh, have to leave my house for the day. Oh, okay. Well, that's a bummer, but it's fine. I mean, still make your short. Maybe not today, but you know. Lightning Strike says that's why I can't make it. Yeah. Same thing when I'm saying still make your short. I mean, even if you can't make it today, you know, tweak portions of the screenplay or whatever to make it as good as you can. Sorry, I'm getting all right. There was no explanation there. I don't know what just happened. But yeah, so speaking of the Netflix party thing, I also have a Zoom account. So that's how I'm going to be mainly doing collab videos. I'll be able to like Zoom with fans and we can record it. I'll throw it up on YouTube. That'll be great. Nostalgic says, what current game are you playing? Recommend God of War. Haven't played God of War yet. The newest game that I recently played was The Last of Us 2, but I have a review and everything. Really want to pick up Ghost of Tsushima. I hear that game is supposed to be Tsushima. Sorry, I hear that game is supposed to be great. And from what I've seen, the graphics are like mind blowing. Might even rival Last of Us 2 even. Ben says in 2008, before John was the flick pick, he uploaded a vid in 2005 where he ramped a shopping cart. It was funny. Really? Is that video still on the internet? Look at his Bad Grandpa review for it. Okay, yes, I will definitely look up his Bad Grandpa review to be able to see that. Wow, 2005. That was like the year YouTube was invented, right? But yeah, so I do still want to focus on the Netflix party and Zoom stuff. I would love to do Netflix party with you guys. So if you don't have Google Chrome, download it to your laptop and add the Netflix Party extension. Like I said, the download process for it looks a little shady, but it's legit. Trust me, you're not going to get any viruses. Download the Netflix Party extension. It's only available on Google Chrome, which is why you need to download Chrome. Definitely download Netflix Party so that I can host a Netflix party, and I'll send out a thing to all of you so that we can all join and watch movies and television shows together. That would be great. Ben says he was probably high or drunk in it, to be honest. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's John Flickinger. I mean, well, that doesn't really sound great. I don't think he's ever, none of the videos I've seen for him has he ever been drunk. But I guess in that video, he may very well could have been. He was younger. It was 2005, man. It was 15 years ago. Oh my goodness, 15 years ago, man. Wow. Dude, man, that's crazy. Wow. But yeah, please take into account what I'm saying about the Netflix party and Zoom stuff. I would love to do all of that with you guys. I really, really would. So after the stream, definitely make sure to go download Chrome and then add the Netflix party extension so that we can all watch things together. It'll be great. Yeah. And maybe we can Zoom while we're watching it so we can talk about the movie while it's happening, because you can do that. All right. Nolan or Villeneuve? Oh, man. Oh, why you gotta make me decide? They're both so great. Like, Christopher Nolan is amazing, and Denis Villeneuve is so amazing. Christopher Nolan and Denis Villeneuve, though, he has, like, Sicario, Arrival, you know, like, he has all these great movies. Christopher Nolan has the Dark Knight trilogy, but he also has, like, Memento, and he has Tenet that's going to be coming out soon, but, you know, you also have Inception. Yeah, Ben, I agree with you. I am going to have to go with Nolan just because Nolan's made more great movies. Like, he's just made more movies than Denis Villeneuve, but all of Denis Villeneuve's movies are still great. So it's going to have to be like one day, if Denis Villeneuve had made more movies than Nolan and all of those movies were incredible, then I would go with Denis Villeneuve. But Denis Villeneuve hasn't made as many movies as Nolan. Now, all of Denis Villeneuve's movies are still great, but Nolan has still made more. So, you know. Does that make sense? Ben says, I still love Dennis. Enemy is a masterpiece. Yeah. Denis Villeneuve did Prisoners, Enemy, Sicario 2, and Arrival. Like, he's just such a great filmmaker. Such a great filmmaker. Probably one of my favorite directors working today, and I'm super, super excited for the Dune, D-U-N-E, the Dune reboot that Denis Villeneuve is making, because the original Dune film isn't that good, and I'm really excited to see what Denis Villeneuve can bring to it. Blade Runner 2040. Did Denis Villeneuve do Blade Runner 2049? Did he direct Blade Runner 2049? One second, my phone is over there, but I'm going to have to look that up. Because I got to know if he directed that, because Blade Runner 2049 was amazing. Let me look. Looking it up. Got it right here. Yeah, Denis Villeneuve. Wow, I didn't know he directed that one. Such a great director, dude. Amazing director. Holy crap. Wow. All right. We only got a couple minutes left in the stream. So, again, I know I keep on reiterating, but it's because I really do want to connect with you guys and interact with you guys to give you that full experience. So, yeah. The Netflix party thing, please download Chrome and then add the Netflix party extension so we can all watch things together. Ben says, good old Roger Deakins. Yes, Roger Deakins is easily my favorite cinematographer of all time. Love it. I do too, man. But yeah, so Netflix party. Definitely do that so that we can watch things. We'll Zoom meetings. We can easily do that. Like if you guys want to do collabs or anything, I'll do Zoom meetings and then I'll just put them up on my channel. Me and Lightning Strike Studios are actually going to be doing a collab over Zoom of ranking the entire Indiana Jones franchise. So look forward to that. That'll be coming August 21st and 22nd. The first part is going to be on Lightning Strike Studios channel, and then the second part is going to be on my channel. So, like, by the first part, I mean it's going to be our rankings for third and fourth place for the Indiana Jones films. That's going to be on his channel. And then the second part, the rankings for first and second, is going to be on my channel. Ben says, I don't have a favorite DP. Rogers incredible. Jarin Blask is also underrated. I actually haven't heard of Jarin Blask, but I'll have to look into that. I'll look at some of the films he DP'd. Roger Deakins is still my favorite personally. With that said, we are about to hit the 2-hour mark. So please, again, Netflix party thing. I really do want to watch things with you guys. Oh, he did The Lighthouse. Oh my goodness. Yeah, The Lighthouse was actually nominated for Best Cinematography. So yeah, still haven't seen Indiana Jones, and I've owned the Blu-ray for 2 years. Dude, watch them. Watch them. Watch the fourth one too. The last Indiana Jones film, my opinion, not a good movie, but still watch it because you got to know how it ends. But yeah, so there we go. Netflix party. Please get on that so that we can watch things together. I do have a Zoom account, so I might do some Zoom collaborations. But with that said, don't leave me any more comments, man. Because, well, actually, leave me more comments. Like if you just want to say, you know, like goodbye or good stream or something like that. But yeah, that is going to wrap up this episode of XAYBEAST Live. It was fun. Very, very fun. I really enjoyed the conversations we had. I hope you guys enjoyed me showcasing my entire Blu-ray collection. Yeah, and if you haven't already, be sure to follow me on Instagram and Twitter, because that's where you're going to be getting the posts of me saying when I'm going to be hosting a Netflix party so that you guys can join, when I'm going to be hosting a Zoom meeting so that you guys can join. So yeah, definitely go and do that. And that's about it. Thanks so much for watching this episode of XAYBEAST Live. It really does mean a lot. And you guys are the best. Really, like such a great episode. Thank you for helping me with this discussion. Goodbye, everyone. I'll see you in the next video. And until then, keep writing, keep shooting, and keep editing.